It may be billed as a friendly, and the crowd in the compact Ullevål Stadium is limited to 23,500, but there's a stirring welcome here for the two teams. Many Norwegians who relish what happened on this ground just over 2 years ago, and a small section of England supporters away to our right, including about 400 members of the official travel club, hoping that this time the outcome might be different. As for survivors from that World Cup meeting, Norway have 6 in their starting lineup, and 6 men who earn their living in England. The captain, Thorsvedt of Tottenham, in goal, number 4, Berg of Blackburn, and number 5, Bjørneby of Liverpool in defence. Number 7, Bohinen, now of Blackburn, and 8, Leonardsen of Wimbledon in midfield, and number 9, Fjørtoft of Middlesbrough, who is usually the lone striker.
And Fjørtoft plays a very important part in the Norwegian system. He has to hold the ball up while those midfield players join him. Quite fascinating actually looking at the team. There's nearly 500 caps amongst them, and I think that's an important part, that experience, the spirit and the blend and understanding they have throughout the side, why they've done so well in recent seasons.
England, like Norway, have players from Blackburn, Liverpool and Middlesbrough, but only 2 survivors, captain Tony Adams and Gary Pallister, who played in the 2-0 defeat here. Pallister tonight has a more orthodox role than he did then. In the absence of up to 7 first-choice players, Terry Venables gives further opportunity to young men who promised much against Colombia.
You mentioned opportunities, but I think for the likes of Neville, Redknapp, Barmby and McManaman, very real opportunities. I think if they do well this evening in the next few games leading up to the Europeans, there's a wonderful chance to establish themselves in the side. And also good to see a rare opportunity for Robert Lee with Gascoigne's injury, and with Newcastle going so well, good time for him to get the game.
Now on the substitutes bench, no Les Ferdinand. Terry Venables explaining that Teddy Sheringham can fit in for either Shearer or Barmby if need be, so he gets the vote there on the England bench. And on the Norwegian bench, Erland Johnsen of Chelsea and Alf Inge Haaland of Nottingham Forest. The referee and linesman are from Sweden, and these days when they play England, Norway have reason to believe they start favourites. Unbeaten at home for over 4 years. It's Tony Adams to Stuart Pearce, England playing from the right. And Norway haven't lost in any of their last 4 matches against England, and they get the first free kick, which Flo threatens to take quickly and then waits. And it's being left for Bohinen. Oh, and a touch there for Fjørtoft right at the start. In fact, Norway at the moment 4th in the FIFA rankings. And there's the England substitutes tonight. Barmby, McManaman. Fouled by Flo. Pearce plays it short. Jamie Redknapp. It was Lee and then Wise, and now it's Adams.
It's not easy, is it, to break down the Norwegian side, who have got just Fjørtoft crossing the halfway line and 9 people goal side, and that is their system. Everyone back, keep it tight and close, particularly in midfield, and then just try and counter-attack or pick up on set pieces.
Lee, Shearer. It's been well documented that Alan Shearer hasn't scored an international goal for over a year. Bruce Rioch in the front row there, the Arsenal manager, keeping an eye on 1 or 2 prospective signings perhaps. Kevin Keegan also in the stand, having been at a match in Sweden last night watching a player. And also here from the Premiership, Harry Redknapp, whose son, of course, Jamie, is in the England team. Leonardsen. Rekdal again. Fjørtoft. Jakobsen. Could open up here. Flu's ahead of him. Jakobsen's going to try one. Seaman saves, and it goes out for a corner on the far side.
Well, that was excellent play, built up along the ground, 4 or 5 good passes. Mini Jakobsen shown his pace on the floor then, hit a good shot, that was a good save, that was going to creep in. And just in the end, scrambling that way for the corner.
Which Bohinen will take, and Jonsson, the number 3, and Berg, number 4, are both up. In fact, Jonsson is right on the goal line. And David Seaman turns it over for another one.
Sensible stuff, so many bodies in there. Not worth taking the chance trying to catch it. Safety first.
Fjørtoft is standing on the near post, and Flew is waiting to come in from just behind the 6-yard line.
Just a bit too deep, that one. It cleared the near post men, and so many bodies there. The Norwegian manager, though, encouraged, I'm sure, by Jakobsen's shot and save from Seaman.
This is Redknapp. Forward goes Lee. He's got Shearer and Barmby in the centre, and McManaman. And up goes Shearer. It was won by Lurken. The overhead kick was by Bohinen. It's been turned back by Wise to Pearce. McManaman has come wide. He'll be found now. Shearer darting through, and offside.
Just the offside there. I thought Lurken, the fullback, did very well defensively. Robert Lee getting to the byline, good cross. That one, not sure. You can see the whole of the line there to see whether it was offside when it was played, but they do like to hold their line, Norway.
And Wise in quickly on Jakobsen. Dennis Wise starting the match in the right wing position.
Yeah, I'd like to see McManaman in change occasionally, just to swap over. Also to see McManaman have a go at Steve Dornby, who has sort of been out for quite a long while. Must be a bit rusty, might sort of struggle a bit more against a more direct winger.
This is Neville. Oh, and Leonardsen goes in there on Pallister. Here comes Bohinen for Norway. Oh, and they've got a spare man on the left as well, and England, fortunately, don't have to worry about this near side because the cross cleared everybody.
Well, that was a complete miss-hit shot, wasn't it, which wrong-footed everyone, and Renago Fjørtoft wasted it because he cleared everyone.
This is Redknapp. Pearce. Pallister. England having to play around here because Norway have got 4 defenders and 5 midfield players between the ball and the goal. Pallister, you see, again, when they try and release it, it's nearly always into an offside position.
Well, all running round, trying to come deep, Nick Barmby in particular, and as I say, then they're coming into the strength of Norway. It hasn't got that air of tension that all competitive games have, and particularly that World Cup qualifier a couple of years ago. There was that sense of anticipation throughout.
It's a foul. It's Lee on Flew. Free kick to Norway. Jonsson has gone forward onto the edge of the area. Fjørtoft being marked by Pallister. Flew on this side. But England deal with that capably, and this is Barmby. Losing out to Bohinen. Fjørtoft, Leonardsen, this is where they're dangerous. Jakobsen. Fjørtoft makes his way into the centre now, near post. Flew is further over. Comes off the head of Jamie Redknapp. And at last a chance for McManaman to bring the ball away for England. Now he has got a bit of space on this flank. Up against Lurken, although Bohinen's coming back to cover too. This is Pearce. 3 to McManaman's right. One of them is Barmby here. Now Wise has trotted across the edge of the area. Has to go back again. as Norway just walk out and bring England with them. Adams, Lee. Neville's made a run down the right. 4 just inside him here. Shearer! England's best attempt so far, coming on 38 minutes.
And it was when they got the extra support of a fullback, Gary Neville, coming beyond to make that extra man outside. Dennis Wise occupied the Norwegian defence into thinking about, well, what do we do here? And actually, Alan Shearer didn't quite catch the volley, but he had plenty of time to set himself on the edge of the area.
This is Flew for Norway. Coming up on the outside here, Lurken. Oh, he's gone past 2 England players. Bohinen sliding it into Fjørtoft. Fjørtoft again. Oh, it's a good job David Seaman picked that out of the 6-yard box. It was a good cross by Fjørtoft, and there were 2 other Norwegian players coming in from either side.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get the power on the cross, and it gave time for David Seaman to come and make sure it didn't come off his body.
Terry Venables made the point today to me that he thought unless England were able to push forward, it could become very much a stalemate, this match, because he knew exactly how Norway were going to play to the letter, as they always play. Shearer's asking for the throw to be sent down this left-hand side for the flick on, but it's gone off his head for a Norway ball. This is Henning Berg, who was used to a rather more hectic game in the FA Karting Premiership, as is Leonardson, who's lost it to Rob Lee. And Lee shoots for England.
That was good pressure. Picked it up well, went at the defence, and nasty skidding shot for Torsved to say, but he did it well enough.
Well, that's part of the act for England now, to get the midfield players into shooting positions. Here's Lurken for Norway. Flew making a run from left to right. Fjørtoft is beyond him. It's gone behind everybody there, and it gives Nick Barmby the chance to turn into some space. Shearer. That's not a good layoff for Redknapp, and it's given Wise the chance to come into the game on this left-hand side. Just coming up to the 44-minute mark. It's been a fairly flat first half. And the goalmouth incident, sparse to say the least. That's a free kick to Norway. Barnby is the player penalised. Forward by Berg, towards Fjørtoft. Jakobsen. Shearer ran a long way to make that. Found Wise. Forward by Pearce, and Barmby makes the run now with Berg, but ball was out. Prior to 1981, England won all their matches against Norway, scoring 24 goals in 5 games against them, but it's very different these days. They haven't beaten them in their last 4 meetings, and the Norwegians are just as difficult to break down tonight. A very well-organised team in midfield, but smothering England at every opportunity, and in many ways smothering the game as an entertainment. But at half-time, the score in Oslo, Norway 0, England 0. That was, I must be honest, one of the most insipid 45 minutes of international football I've seen in a very long time. And whilst emphasising that Norway are very frustrating to play against, shouldn't alter the fact that England are going to have to be more creative if they're going to do anything about it. This is Barmby. Also calls into focus at some point, I suppose, 1 or 2 of the absentees. There's no Gascoigne, Anderton, Platt or Barnes or Beardsley. Although it is an opportunity for the lads out there to prove their worth, they're going to Have to step up a gear or two to do so. Or shall we say, find a more imaginative way of solving the problem. Here comes Shearer. It's a better start this. Barmby's in the centre. Leonardson. In the way was Adams. This is Jakobsen, number 11 on this side. Up against Gary Neville. Leonardson's made a run further down. Here he is. Bohinan's just inside him here. Oh, and it struck Gary Pallister from Lars Bohinen.
Almost looked as if it hit himself, ricocheted up. Got a lucky bounce in it off Tony Adams to set it up. Up to now, I mean, defensively, Adams and Pallister look pretty solid. It is that creation, isn't it? Going forward, a bit of invention, bit of ability to go past defenders. Gascoigne, of course, probably more than anyone would give the creative skills. I suppose it could open up the Le Tissier debate again.
Well, that's never far from the surface, that particular debate, is it? This is Bohinen. He's got a free kick. And I suppose we're all pretty good at picking our own England teams, really. Here's Bjørneby with the free kick for Norway. Bohinen back to Bjørneby. Bjørtoft now moves into the inside left position. Here he is, curls it. Oh, and just for a fraction of a second, I thought Seaman had lost his balance.
He's definitely lost his footing. Look at him looking at the ground there. One or two England players have slipped over. Whether they got the wrong studs on, I don't know. As you say, they've got this slight artificial grass, haven't they, in the overall pitch. But that one, camera work didn't show us how he did lose his left foot there, and fortunately readjusted.
After training last night, Steve Bold, one of the England subs, was telling me he thought the grass here was rather long. And certainly, as you say, one or two players have slipped. And that's Stig Inge Bjørneby, who is really using this international as a bit of a fitness test for the next one. The Norwegian manager wanted to know if he'd recovered from his broken leg, but that's a different injury for the Liverpool player.
Yes, Fjortos signalling there for the sub to warm up. Looks like he's got a whack in his face, whether he's got a cut or something which might need stitches, whether it's the nose.
It was Alan Shearer who challenged him, Trevor, and I rather think Shearer's arm, I'm not quite sure what part of his arm, caught Bjørneby in the face.
Well, they're naturally enough worried there about whether he's broken his nose, because if he is going to go off and squeeze in the top of it, if there is a little crack, then that's not one of those things that he's going to find easy to breathe through. Sometimes players can get through it and get through the game, and then they can reset it after the match. It seems as if he's going to give it a go and see how he feels.
So it's a free kick to England to be taken by Tony Adams. Gary Pallister has gone forward. Shearer's coming in from that side as well. That was Pallister. And again, Adams. 4 well up for England here. He's looking for Wise. And there is the injured player. And Bjørneby has given away a free kick. Clearly that knock in the face has affected him, because it was a bad position to concede. And Stuart Pearce will come all the way across to take it with his left foot. Tony Adams trots forward. So does Gary Pallister. So it's a corner, which Dennis Wise will take. So Pallister and Adams can stay forward here. Oh, and Eric Thorsvedt, unorthodox. Here's Wise. It's going to come to Pearce on his left foot. It's blocked by Flew. Here's Neville. This is Rekdal. Not the best of headers. Leonardson's there. Danger here, perhaps. Oh, it's been given away by Wise to Bjørneby. This is Leonardsen, and Flu makes a forward run as well, and Fjørtof's there. Comes back to Redknapp, and he's found McManaman. Can he break now on the left for England? Norway brings 6 players back at once, and one of them was Bohinen. The England supporters to whom that last loudspeaker announcement was addressed have been very carefully shepherded while they've been here. It's been a massive security operation surrounding this match. As yet, we believe it's successful. And it will therefore be the first away match that England have completed under Terry Venables. Ronny Johnsen bringing the ball out of defence for Norway and doing it very well. He's got Jakobsen on this side. He's got Fjørtoft up as well. This is Rekdal. Now it's Bohinen, and he's got Leonardsen running on.
Well done, Ronny Johnsen, as well. That was a great run from defence. That's what I think so many defenders could do much more.
Flo has forced a corner for Norway. Which Bjørneby will go across to take with his left foot, and it will bring Berg and Johnsen forward. Also in the penalty area there is Rekdal, number 10, and Flu, number 6. This is Rekdal, and now it's a goal kick. Rekdal there in the picture was the player who scored a spectacular goal at Wembley when the teams drew 1-1 in the World Cup match there prior to England coming here and getting beaten. Redknapp. That's a break by Norway. Bohinen floating it forward for Jakobsen, and it's come off Neville. It's going to be a corner. Johnsen on his way up. Fjørtoft again takes the near post position. Flu to come in just behind them, and they've got Sol back in there as well now. There's Flu. Oh, it dropped almost for the substitute. Nick Barmby, oh, if he hadn't lost his footing again, he might have been away. As it is, Norway still press. It's Jakobsen. Fjørtoft. McManaman. He's got Wise inside. Redknapp. Now Lee. This is Neville. Flags up. Good opening for England, except that Barmby was offside. Jakobsen. Good touch by Fjørtoft. That was Flu. Norway moving quite smoothly here. It's Flu again. Tackle was by Lee, and he's been penalised, although he seemed to take the ball. It's a free kick to Norway. Now Bohinen has called Bjørneby across because I suppose it could appeal to a left footer. Jakobsen's moving away. Rekdal mixing with the England wall. Bjørneby, well gathered.
That was extremely well gathered, because that just bounced in front of him. Wouldn't have seen it till very late, David Seaman got his body and watched it closely, but it does look as if England might themselves be thinking about bringing on a substitute. You see how that just bounced in front of him.
Good effort by Stiging Burnaby of Liverpool, but Seaman showing plenty of authority. Here come England. The work being done there first by Shearer, then by Lee, then Barmby, Lee again. There's McManaman. Corner.
That was better. Good ball in from Robert Lee. Good run by McManaman. Just got caught under his feet and allowed the tackle to come in.
England preparing to make 2 substitutions. The referee was just checking to see if they were going to take the corner first. But Nick Barmby and Dennis Wise are being called off. And on for his first cap comes Steve Stone of Nottingham Forest, number 15. And Teddy Sheringham of Tottenham Hotspur, number 16, which presumably means that he's taking Barmby's place around Shearer. Perhaps alongside Shearer, we shall see. In the meantime, though, England have a corner which brings Adams and Pallister forward. Oh, wasn't a bad climb either. Back in by Sheringham. And there's the shots just fading away from McManaman. But it's a big moment for Steve Stone, 24 years old, midfield player from Nottingham Forest, who I know impressed Terry Venables a great deal last season. That's Pearce.
And if I say the 4 central defenders have probably been the best players on the pitch this evening, I think that's a fair reflection of the game. Ronnie Johnson and Heinenberg being very dominant and very quick and aggressive in the tackle for Norway, and at the other end, Pallister and Adams. Pallister in particular, I think, has had one of his best games for England.
This is Flew. It's been a sort of match, I think, that centre-backs relish. The ball's been coming onto them an awful lot, hasn't it? This is Rekdal, number 10 for Norway. Neville clears from Jakobsen. But it's the lack of pattern in the game and variety which has really made it a difficult one for the spectators to sustain interest. This is Solbakken. Locken. Fjortoft. Ten is Rekdal. Oh, and Solbakken, the substitute, gets in here. It needed a very good piece of play by Steve Stone, who's just come on to deny Norway what would have been a goal-scoring opportunity. In fact, it was one sub cancelling out the other there. This is a third one, Teddy Sheringham. Neville. Shearer makes a run across the area, leaving room on the far side for 2 others to come in. McManaman is there for England.
That was a great opportunity, wasn't it? I mean, it's one of those, I think, as well, which highlights that problem of playing on the left-hand side for him, because it clears everyone. For once, they broke through. The flag didn't go up, and it just needed a good first touch with that left leg just to set it up, but the control wasn't there.
Adams. Good ball. This is Stone. Sheringham making his way into the centre. Lee comes near post. Oh, and Torsbeck fumbles it, and it goes off Berg for a corner. Steve Stone's made a bit of a difference with his enthusiasm.
And the ability to hang out wide. If it gives him the width, and he had acres of space there, and it was nearly, didn't it? Look at that cross going on at the near post. Bounced off Eric's Torsbeck, just rebounded off the defender.
And, oh, and Torsbeck perhaps impeded there by Sheringham. Gets a free kick. Terry Venables on his feet briefly. Brian Robson crouching in front. This is Bohinen for Norway. He's got Brattbakk out on the right. This is Lurken. Now Brattbakk. Brings Bjørneby into it when there were other players who could have received a forward ball. Jakobsen. Neville tight to the line, corner.
At least we saw somebody from one of the two sides trying to take on somebody. I mean, that's what the whole match has cried out for.
Jonsson is again coming forward onto the goal line. Been played short. Björneby fires it low. Oh, David Seaman's hand just turned it aside for another corner.
It was a good save. Low down, it was just heading on its way, I think, to the inside of the post. One of those could have come back across the goal. Look at it, just going to creep in. I would have thought good save along the ground.
And having had that shot, Björneby now goes across to take the corner. And plenty of tall men in there for Norway. Picked out from underneath the crossbar by a very assured England goalkeeper. Sheringham to McManaman. This is Redknapp. Pearce. Sheringham in the centre trying to get the flick on for Shearer. This is Lee. And it falls for Stone. Tony Adams forward. Free kick given against Shearer. Well, bearing in mind that 6 or 7 of the Norwegians play in the FA Carling Premiership. Forward by Rekdal, and here comes Flew, and Tony Adams had to be strong and aware. It's a corner.
It was excellent defending. Rekdal just knocking a long ball, Tony Adams knowing that Flew was lurking behind him. Look, he's watched it all the way. Definitely did enough to knock it behind there.
Jonsson on the line again. Flew coming in. Jonsson's flick. Oh, it was dangerous. England defending the second ball well. This is back again now with Bohinen. Trying to get round Shearer, and he did. Comes out to Jakobsen.
Interesting little contest between Blackburn teammates now, of course. Bohinen, a bit of trickery with Shearer, although of course we don't want really Alan Shearer back in those defensive situations.
Well, with about 16 or 17 players on the pitch from the FA Carling Premiership, probably more by now. Not quite sure what this says about the English football on which Norway say they've modelled their game.
Well, it's a sort of model that hopefully with a lot of the foreign talent coming into the Premier League is gradually being squashed out of it. I think it was a system that developed in the 80s, didn't it? A lot of the long ball and bypass in the midfield, defending in numbers, and I think if you look at the sides towards the top of the Premier League, that's beginning to be squeezed out of the game. And then when you see a match like this, you can hopefully think that the sooner the better.
This is Solbakken, one of the Norwegian substitutes, playing it back to Ronny Jonsson. Now England have a chance to snap here. It's Redknapp. Well played, McManaman, Liverpool connection again. Shearer, Sheringham to his right, and Shearer's going at them. Henningberger, good tackle. Collected the ball cleanly just when Shearer looked like going through, and this is where Norway do like to counter-attack, and England having to cover. Yes, as Keegan and Rioch probably feeling very much the same way about the game as spectators as we do. It has been rather drab, hasn't it?
They looked as if they were saying, whose idea was this to come to this match? Nobody was owning up.
are looking for Flo with this one, and he got the header on too. And Flo again hits an England foot. Stuart Pearce, valuable clearance. Steve Stone to collect. Well, as a match, as a spectacle, it was dull, drab and uninspiring, and it's drawn whistles of derision from the crowd in the stadium here. They're used to something more exciting than that. As a result, it means that Norway have now remained unbeaten against England in 5 meetings. It also means that Terry Venables' first away match, or the first one to finish, has ended in a 0-0 draw on a ground in a country, in fact, where nobody has beaten Norway for over 4 years. Some consolation in that, but unfortunately a game lacking genuine incident, certainly lacking imagination, and not one of the internationals that will be remembered for very long. Norway 0, England 0.